welcome to our Tuesday, July 19th, 2022 Board of Education meeting. Thank you for audience members. I hope you're having a good summer. We're going to go ahead and roll call. So I'm going to start with Board Member Eric Joyce.
Present.
Board Member Mike Blessing.
Here.
Board Member Eleanor Evans.
Present.
And Board Member Raquel Alvarez.
Present.
Perfect. Everyone's here. So we're going to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Eleanor, will you please lead us? You do such a good job.
Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart, facing the flag. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Thank you, Eleanor. All right, item 2C, public report of action taken in closed session. We have no action to report out today. And moving on to item 2D, approval of agenda. So I would like to propose that we pull items 5A and 5B from the agenda. Do I have a...
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All right, we have a first and a second. I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving the agenda proposed, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 3, superintendent's report. Dr. Vitale?
Yes, I'd just like to share some summer school information. We had just over 1,400 secondary students enroll in complete summer school. We had just over 1,000 elementary students enroll in summer school, which ends this week. And we had just over 1,000 students participate in our expanded day learning. And we start school on August 17th.
Great.
That's awesome. Super. So we're going to go ahead and do some board reports. I do not have a board, well, I have a small one, but I'll start with Eric Joyce.
So I got to attend a really cool event at Hill Street Country Club, and that's a little art space in Oceanside where some of our Jefferson students participated in an extended learning opportunity this summer, and they learned from professional artists, and they also learned, spent the other half of the day learning social emotional regulation and how they can cope with the difficulties of well, being a middle schooler for one, but just everything that's been going on. And they created these beautiful pieces of art. I was a little partial because some of it was space themed, but they expressed how they were feeling through art, and I got to take a tour with some of the young artists, and they told me about the process and how they learned to stretch canvas over the wood frame, and how they were learning about photography, and they did sculptures, and just this really powerful, beautiful program that was a partnership with some of our local organizations. So it was a great event.
Wow, that sounds great. Mike, do you have a board report?
No report this time.
All right. Eleanor?
I don't have a report.
All right. And Raquel?
Of course I do.
All right.
I was able to participate and see the TC Fit Camp. Transformation Consultants, they do a fit camp with some of our students within the district, and it's a pretty serious workout. There's no way. I just looked at them and I was having problems breathing, having to turn up my own oxygen. So they're pretty serious about it too. The students that do it are just amazing because they are passionate about that workout that they go and they do. So thank you to TC for doing that, because they've done it for summers, I know, since my kid was little and he participated. I also was able to participate in the Samoan cultural event, which was amazing and awesome because it showed off many of our local students and just their culture and their passion and their love for what their culture actually is, and that was awesome to see. And I was able to witness the cup stacking contests that were going on. They were doing an event with the Koreans, and so teams had come in and flown in to actually participate in the cup stacking competition, and the speed was just amazing because I had done it. The event goes on all week, and so I was at another night event and they were doing cup stacking and they were showing me how to do cup stacking, and I realized how bad I was. when I looked at how great these students and from all over the country were, and even our own local students, how amazing they were. And, but just being able to see that, but I want to thank the SOS, because they do cup stacking within our schools before and after school programs. And so they work in a ton of our schools, almost every one of our schools, doing the cup stacking program with our students. And they work in the process of just mentoring them and keeping them out of gangs, and why it's important to make sure that their education is a priority and everything like that. So doing the cup stacking program within our schools has been amazing, and just seeing it firsthand and what it actually is, and how much those kids that are in those clubs coming into the competitions and coming to a Samoan cultural event and showing off what they do was just amazing and awesome, because they're very passionate about it. So awesome there. I was also able to go to the Gear Up graduation, because thank you to Gear Up for doing what they did with our students too. And they were able to get college credit for these classes. So it's a class that I think is 9 weeks. Do you all remember? I don't remember exactly if it's a month long. Oh, it's a month long. Okay, remember it's a month. You were there with me, right? So it was a month long. So what they do in 4 weeks, and what you would normally do in 16 weeks, they do it in 4 weeks. Or 16 days, I think is total, is what it winds up being. 16 days. And so, but what they learn, and then they get the college credit on top of that. But they had an amazing group of kids, of our students alone, that just graduated through these programs. And so it was just amazing to see, because you saw the diversity also within our district and with our students going into this program, which was awesome and amazing. So thank you to Gear Up for, again, supporting our students and being there for them, even during our summertime and our breaks, because these are all groups that don't have to be doing things during our break time when our students are doing, the summer school or summer for all of them. But they're still keeping our kids busy and keeping them involved and keeping them active. Thank you to all our support staff that supported with summer school, because you all worked extra on top of your regular school year to be there with our students. And for those that had my kid, I'm so sorry. But you all did amazing with them, to work with them, to push them to that next level, and to get them to do that little bit extra that they didn't maybe want to do, or get up and go and do, and just giving up on themselves. But you went above and beyond. So thank you to all of you for giving again back into our students on top of your regular time. So I think that's all I have. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. That's great. Well, I just have some kudos. Chavez Middle School, where we're at right now, they had 11 students out of 19 pass the advanced placement AP Spanish language exam, which is amazing. A student got a 5, which is a perfect score. There were many 4s and a few 3s, but they're all passing. And these students, it's awesome. So our first class, pioneer class of TWBI. So that is a huge success. I'm bragging, my son passed, so he's very excited. So anyways, so we're going to move on to general consent items. Item 4, we do have one public comment, I believe. Okay. 4G is the approval of First Amendment to the addendum number 1 to the agreement for architectural services with PJHM.
Hi, I'm speaking to the additional $350,000 that was recently allocated to the San Luis Rey Pablo TAC modernization project. I'm hoping with every fiber of my being that part or all of that money will be used to revise the plans of the multipurpose room to include the removal or relocation of that dreadfully obtrusive HVAC duct that has been haunting our fledgling visual and performing arts program. If the aforementioned $350,000 does not include the relocation of that atrocious HVAC duct, then I once again strongly implore our esteemed board members and our entrusted district leaders to please do everything in their power to relocate that ill-conceived HVAC duct from dead center of the MPR to a soffit in a more inconspicuous, less obtrusive location. Another bone of contention that I find unacceptable is the district's neglect in changing the signage at San Luis Rey. Dr. Vitale and board member Blessing pushed for the renaming despite my repeated pleas that it was premature and should be postponed until the site modernization was finished. Teachers return to school in 3 weeks and students return in 4 weeks. And as of tonight, the newly renamed Pablo TAC still bears the name San Luis Rey on its building, and its marquee still says San Luis Rey and has a sea lion on it. I humbly ask the district to please cover the San Luis Rey marquee with a Pablo Talk sign or sticker and replace the school name with the new name Pablo Talk on the building. Keeping it the way it is will leave our school community in a state of confusion and with a lack of identity.
Thank you. All right, general consent items. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A first and a second. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving item 4, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we pulled item 5 from the agenda, so we're moving on to item 6, curriculum and instruction. 6A is the approval of purchase of psychology, AP, social science curriculum.
Yes, we approved new history social science curriculum, and the College Board also has new textbooks. So this will align our AP social science texts with our newest adoptions.
Move approval.
All right, for a second, any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving item 6A, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 7, business. 7A is the approval of use of Measure W funds for upcoming projects.
Thank you, Dr. Begin. Measure W was passed in November of 2020, authorizing up to $160 million in general obligation bonds for school facilities and grounds improvements. In January of 2022, the Board of Education authorized the modernization of Surfside Education Academy and the demolition and rebuild of Reynolds Elementary. Additional Measure W projects were approved in March of 2022, which included district-wide playground equipment replacement and shade structures, track and field replacements at the high schools, a gym MPR at Jefferson Middle School, and HVAC and roof replacements at specific schools. Due to positive new developments, OUSD, staff is recommending approval of 3 additional updates utilizing Measure W bond funds. North Terrace was recently selected to participate in the Department of Defense Public Schools on Military Installations, also called the PSMI grant. Because North Terrace School is located on Camp Pendleton, 80% of the funds needed for modernization will be covered through the PSMI grant. OUSD would only need to contribute 20% or $15 million of the cost towards a complete modernization of North Terrace School. Stuart Mesa is expected to be selected to participate in this same program within the next 2 years or sooner. OUSD would only need to contribute 20%. We estimate $5 million of the cost towards a complete modernization of Stuart Mesa School. And lastly, due to the unique educational programs offered at Surfside Education Academy, it is necessary to increase the modernization allotment by $8 million. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the use of Measure W funds for the upcoming projects at North Terrace School, Stuart Mesa School, and Surfside Educational Academy.
Does anybody have any questions?
The Stuart Mesa modernization, if we don't receive that grant funding, is this direction conditional upon us receiving that grant funding? So like, if we end up not qualifying for that grant, will we reconsider this?
We certainly could. What it is we're really on a list, a nationwide list, and we're within what we anticipate to be the next 2 years, if not sooner. And so as soon as we get approval, and basically once you get notified that your number has come up, you get the grant. You don't have to qualify it. You really, then you just share with them what the plans would be. And already having gone through the process for North Terrace and going back to Arlington to meet with the DOD, we're already aware of what we would need to do. And so we anticipate the cost would be about $5 million for our 20% when we come up.
Is there a time frame of when that needs to happen as far as the $5 million or anything else? Or is there a window that we have?
As soon as you're notified, you have about 90 days to get your application in, and then there's a review process. So as soon as you have your 20%, the DOD then brings in their portion, and they pay immediately. As soon as you put in your portion, they start to pay back. So we do have to put 20% out. They'll do the 80, but there is no time frame in terms of once it comes up and everything's approved, they will wait until you can get your 20%. So we're in a great position that we could move on modernizing both of the sites when they do come up.
Perfect. Thank
Can you remind us that how old those 2 schools are?
I know that we're about 25 years for Stuart Mesa. I'd have to look at what North Terrace is. The reason that North Terrace is up before Stuart Mesa is because when you're rated on the scale, they really look at what are your really stick and mortar buildings, like, or your brick and mortar buildings, or your more traditional buildings. And half of the campus of North Terrace is all portables. They're not even modulars. They're the raised up with the ramp, and they don't consider that permanent. And so that put them at a higher priority than Stuart Mesa. Because if you were to look on the outside, you'd say, oh, well, why would this one be before? But it's really because half the campus isn't counted as a real permanent site.
I just want to say thank you for all your work on this. This is incredible, chasing down these funds so that we are collecting and being able to not have to foot the whole bill. It's amazing. Great work.
I would agree with that. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Now, I want to thank you only because I know it was very last minute of trying to get everything together and put all the plans together to get up there and to make this happen and have all those conversations. I know it was very quick. It was the turnaround was very quick. So just thank you for that and just keeping us in the loop and everything and all that as we went along.
Thank you.
Remind me of the total costs of both projects and our match, so totals.
For going back to North Terrace,
Yeah,
our contribution would be 15 million, so that'd be 20%, I believe it's 69 million. And then we would do 20% of Stuart Mesa, which is 5 million. So doing math, 25 million.
To 100 million total.
wait, what's the price? what
They're going to pay
20
80
mil.
million,
80 million?
and we're paying 20 million.
20 million,
Because it's
right.
20 to.
That's the number I want to get out there. That's the headline. We're getting 80 million from the feds to rebuild these schools.
Right. We haven't been given the Stuart Mesa grant yet, so we don't want to
Right.
put that out there too much, but we are anticipating it.
I
Right.
understand that. We're very
Right.
hopeful we will be getting that.
Absolutely.
And we should. Great
I'm
work,
excited.
Sam.
Both those schools are really large schools, too.
Yeah.
So-
Yes.
They would definitely service a lot of our population.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll
Second.
second.
I'll second.
Oh, we got lots of seconds. All right, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor of approving item 7A, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, we're on to item 8. This is a fast meeting, short agenda. Item 8, public comments. Do we have any, Ann?
Yes. One, Susan Custer.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm going to read this for Brad Tobias, who's unable to be here. This is a letter that he sent to the board a week or two ago. Good evening, Dr. Vitelli and Board of Education. I hope this email finds you well. The purpose of this email is to act as a substitute for a public comment I wanted to speak on tomorrow. But due to professional obligations, I will not be able to attend. I wanted to address an alarming public comment that occurred at the June 28th public meeting by the former 6th grade boy of Jefferson Middle School named Anthony. With courage well beyond his years, he spoke to you all about how he had to change school due to the extreme bullying and being physically assaulted that involved him breaking his arm. The principal and vice principal never reported the events. Furthermore, these tragic events led to his mother to transferring him to another school for safety. His full comments are around the 2.06 mark of the video recording, and his mother's is afterwards. Bottom line, Anthony's testimony makes me sick to my stomach and is 100% preventable. My question to all of you is this: what has been done to right this wrong? Who is being held accountable for this? Have you reached out to Anthony and his mother regarding this? Why was his mother denied a meeting with you? I haven't seen any public response, which I feel this deserves, via emails, voicemails, social media, or otherwise. Personally, if I were in your shoes, I would address the bullying and physical assault in a video. I expect an answer to these questions. I expect a higher standard presented for the district than the response that was presented for Anthony and his mother. Very respectfully, Bradley Tobias. So personally, I hope y'all will address this issue publicly. It should not be allowed to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Is that our only public comment? All right, we're on item 9, which is adjournment. So I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 6:22 p.m. Thanks for showing up.
Bang the gavel.
I get to bang the gavel.